I've had a recent issue with a record request from Zephyrhills Police Department and I want to share the experience with you. Here's the probable cause statement to the incident it pertains to. Defendant willfully, and by culpable negligence, failed to provide victim. 6-year-old. With the care and supervision necessary to maintain victim's physical and mental health. Defendant was caregiver at the time and the child is under the age of 18. Defendant was under the influence of alcohol and possibly under the influence of a narcotic, based on her slurred speech, trouble standing or walking, inability to stay focused, bloodshot watery eyes, and constricted pupils. The defendant caused a disturbance at the local Publix, observed by several witnesses, and admitted to traveling on foot along the side of US 301 with the child while in an intoxicated state, thus placing the child in great harm. Several witnesses reported that the defendant was also physically abusive toward the child in the store, observing her pull her hair and scream vulgarities at her. The victim had a possible burn mark to her right arm. When questioned, the victim stated that her had caused the injury with a lit cigarette. The defendant thus intentionally inflicted injury to the victim and committed an intentional act that could reasonably be expected to result in injury to the victim. The defendant was charged with child abuse and child neglect. She was placed under arrest, transported to Advent Health of Zephyrhills for medical clearance, and released to the Land O'Lakes jail.
Hey Claudette, I have a couple requests.
Okay.
The first one is for case number 24-2228, and I'm requesting Nelson's body-worn camera footage. And then for case number 23-4220, I'm requesting Fellows body-worn camera footage. And that's it.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Public record request. 5 messages. From Lisa Jones. Tuesday, July 9th, 2024. To Cammed Up Caveman, Hi Tony, 2024-2228. Officer Nelson's BWC will only have her at the police department. His other BWC is with a child victim of child abuse. It will be 2 hours at $19.10 per hour, total $38.20. 2023-4220, Officer Fellows BWC is 2 hours at $19.10 per hour, total $38.20. Total cost $76.40. Please let me know if you would like me to proceed. Thank you, Lisa Jones. Records Clerk. Zephyrhills Police Department.
So what has happened here is Lisa has basically denied my request for the officer's body camera footage video of the entire interaction with the defendant at the scene of the crime for case number 24-2228. She did not give me the option to decide for myself or give a quote to redact the footage. The kicker is, though, she didn't list a statute that would exempt the document as the records law requires.
Hey Lisa. All right, I wanted to speak with you about this email that you sent, where you say his other body-worn camera is with a child victim of child abuse. Does that mean you're not going to give me that footage?
Not that part of the footage where he's speaking to the child.
And is that the only reason you're using not to give me that footage?
Yes.
Is because it's child abuse?
Child victims aren't releasable.
Where do you get that from? Which statute?
I will go up and look for it.
Okay, because there's no statute that exempts anything with a minor or a child unless they are a victim of sexual assault or sexual battery, or if the child was killed in the body-worn camera footage. Okay?
Child is one. So, but as far as I know, from reading the statute,
Just for child abuse is no exemption.
I'll go take a look.
Okay,
I'll get it for you.
I appreciate it.
No problem.
From Lisa Jones. Monday, July 29, 2024. To Cammed Up Caveman. Hi Tony, please see the statute for releasing victims of child abuse. 39.202, Confidentiality of reports and records in cases of child abuse or neglect, exception. 1. In order to protect the rights of the child and the child's parents or other persons responsible for the child's welfare, all records held by the department concerning reports of child abandonment, abuse, or neglect, including reports made to the Central Abuse Hotline and all records generated as a result of such reports, shall be confidential and exempt from the provisions of Statute 119.07, 1, and shall not be disclosed except as specifically authorized by this chapter. Such exemption from Statute 119.07, 1, applies to information in the possession of those entities granted access as set forth in this section. Thank you.
From Cammed Up Caveman to Lisa Jones, wed, July the 31st, 2024. Hi Lisa, Florida Statute 39.202 applies to the Department of Children and Families and the proceedings relating to children and their cases, and records held by the Department of Children and Families in which the Police Department may have access to. It does not apply to police records which were obtained prior to the Police Department's required reporting to the Department of Children and Families. The statute you quoted clearly says, all records held by the Department concerning reports of child abandonment, abuse, or neglect, including reports made to the Central Abuse Hotline, where Florida Statutes 39.01 defines Department for the understanding of Chapter 39 of the Florida Statutes as 39.0120 Department means the Department of Children and Families. Then the statute you quoted goes on to say, and all records generated as a result of such reports shall be confidential and exempt from the provisions of Statute 119.07, 1, as this incident that I am requesting the body camera footage for was not a result of reports to the Department of Children and Families, but from reports made to and reports and records that were originated and are held by ZPD. These requested records are not exempted by Florida Statute 39.202, 1, as described in the rest of the statute quoted, which says, and shall not be disclosed except as specifically authorized by this chapter. Such exemption from Statute 119.07, 1, applies to information in the possession of those entities granted access as set forth in this section, and Florida Statutes 119 also does not exempt the requested records entirely. I understand that some information may be redacted as to not publicly disclose specific, identifying information such as name or ID numbers, or identifying images of abused children and or home or school name, or location information of abused children contained in any of the Zephyrhills Police Department's records that were requested.
Hi, Lisa. Hey, Lisa. I'd like to get all of the CADs for all calls related to Officer Rose today.
Sure. Just for today?
Yes, ma'am.
And just the CAD?
Yes, ma'am. I think the 5th.
About the public records request for the one that I had sent about the child abuse?
Yep.
So I went back, found the statute.
I'm having a real hard time hearing you today.
Talk louder. You can't have the video. It's gonna be heavily redacted. I just want to make sure that you want to spend the money on that before I do it.
Well, I'd like a quote as per the Florida statutes.
I'll give you that.
I'd like a quote, and if there's any exemptions that apply, I'd like for you to cite the statutes that apply to those exemptions.
I've got all of that.
All right.
I just wanted to check with you because it's gonna be redacted. I don't know if it'd be any, worth your time or your money.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, it's up to you. That's totally up to you.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, at this point, you tried to quote a law that didn't even apply to it. So at this point, I have to prove you wrong. So if you're going to charge me a lot of money for that, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
It's just exposure, I'm not here to make you all look like you're tyrants or anything like that. But if you exhibit any behavior in that fact, I'm going to expose it. So,
Exactly.
I'd like for you to go ahead and do that. Just,
Children of child abuse are not releasable to the public.
I don't know where you're getting that from. Their images aren't releasable. Their names aren't releasable. And if you do an interview, if you do, and that's fine. What can be redacted is the child's image and the child's name, the child's address, any identifying information like that. And that is for the Florida Statutes 119. That's not for the Department of Child and Families, which you quoted.
I have another one. I can print it off for you right now if you'd like.
If you want to do that now, it's fine. I'd prefer you do it through the email.
Okay, let's do it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just went through a training where they said that children of child abuse are not releasable to the public. They're just not. Yeah, no, I mean, you could, like you said, you can have the video. It's just going to be highly redacted.
Yeah, but if you redact anything else, like any other information besides what's able to be redacted, you're
exactly right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Okay.
telling you. I'm just trying to help you out, Bob. But if you want it, you can have it. Like I said, it's. Just,
I'd like for you to do the work that you're supposed to do. I've been paying for it.
You have a great day, Tony. All right.
All right.
Yeah, I'll get your email to you.
Yep. Thank you.
From Lisa Jones. Wednesday, August 14th, 2024. To Cammed Up Caveman. Hi Anthony, here's the statute for releasing juvenile victims. H. 1. The following criminal intelligence information or criminal investigative information is confidential and exempt from Statute 119.07, 1, and Statute 24, A, Art. I of the State Constitution, A. Any information that reveals the identity of the victim of the crime of child abuse as defined by Chapter 827 or that reveals the identity of a person under the age of 18 who is the victim of the crime of human trafficking prescribed in Statute 787.06, 3, A. B. Any information that may reveal the identity of a person who is a victim of any sexual offense, including a sexual offense prescribed in S. 787.06, 3, B, D, F, or G, Chapter 794, Chapter 796, Chapter 800, Chapter 827, or Chapter 847. C. A photograph, videotape, or image of any part of the body of the victim of a sexual offense prohibited under S. 787.06, 3, B, D, F, or G, Chapter 794, Chapter 796, Chapter 800, S. 810.145, Chapter 827, or Chapter 847, regardless of whether the photograph, videotape, or image identifies the victim. Redacting the video will be 6 hours at $19.10 per hour. Total $114.60. Please let me know if you would like to proceed. I also have you other request for Officer Rose CAD events for August 5th, 2024 ready.
From Cammed Up Caveman to Lisa Jones, wed, August the 14th, 2024. Hi Lisa, that is Florida Statutes 119.0712, H1 that you are now quoting. That is the statute in the Sunshine Law that applies to some records in this case. It is the one that I mentioned that applied when I explained how the other statute, Florida Statute 39.202 that you claimed in your first response, did not apply to the records that I requested. You added B and C. In your quote though, when you quoted 119.0712, H1, and from what I read in the reports and court documents and the charges, there were not any allegations or charges of child sex abuse in this case, which then means neither Statute 119.0712, H1B nor C apply to any of the records I've requested. From my understanding, the exemptions that are authorized in this statute, Florida Statute 119.0712, H1 allow you to blur the images of the abused child in documents, pictures or body camera footage, and allows you to mute any audio or blur any images with information which identify the identity or location of their home or school addresses of the child abuse victim. It however doesn't allow you to blur or mute all of the requested record altogether, or to mute all of the child's voice altogether, or to deny the body camera footage altogether as you first attempted when using a statute that clearly didn't apply. I just want to make sure we're on the same page on this and that I will be receiving what I think I should be before I commit to payment on these requests. Also, I was wondering, is the requested footage the footage of the officer's initial contact within questioning of the suspect also, and not just footage entirely of the child being questioned, right? Thanks, Anthony.
Hi, Lisa.
How are you?
All right, I want to pay for that body cam footage for 24, 22, 28,
Okay,
and pick up those records for
absolutely.
the CADs for Rose.
Tony, I given the video to the supervisor to review. He hasn't reviewed it yet, the video. He's gonna review it first. Because I wanted you to come back and tell me if you wanted to proceed or not, and you hadn't yet. So, but this is for,
So do you want me to just hold on to this for now?
hold on to that for now. He's just gonna review what I did before we release it to you.
Okay, I understand that. That's
Yeah.
okay. I can pay for it now if you want me to, though.
It's okay. Whenever you come back, it's fine.
All right.
But that's all the CAT events for that date for Officer
I'm
Rose.
sorry I missed.
This is all the CAT events for Officer Rose for the date that you asked.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Lisa.
No problem.
You don't need nothing for this?
Nope.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Hey, Lisa, I don't know if you gave me the wrong ones or whether you just did this, but if you did just do it on accident or purpose,
I did.
I wanted to make sure that I mentioned this, where you use this whiteout. Yeah, like when you use whiteout like that,
I didn't do
it can scratch right off.
Yeah, I didn't make copies. Let me make copies. real
All
quick.
right.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
All right, no problem. I actually ordered these for someone else, and I don't want to turn them over and then someone do that.
Right?
You know what I
have
mean?
That information.
Well, yeah.
Normally I make a copy of it.
I don't want it to be my fault. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
All right, take care.